All right, so get this. Today, we're diving into Bitcoin,
Oh, cool.
but not the Bitcoin you're used to.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking Bitcoin without the internet.
That's interesting.
Yeah, off-the-grid Bitcoin.
Wow.
And to help us unpack this, we've got some insights from Decentral Technologies.
Oh.
They're a Bitcoin mining company, and they're known for, really pushing the boundaries with innovation.
I see.
And their article sparked this whole deep dive.
Cool.
I have to say, I'm a little obsessed with this topic.
Yeah, it sounds pretty fascinating.
But before we go full geek, let's take a step back for a sec just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay, sure.
Bitcoin, for anyone who's new to this, is basically a digital currency.
Right.
It uses this tech called blockchain to record transactions.
Huh.
So basically, it's a decentralized, like a public ledger that everyone can see.
Right.
Incredibly secure.
Yeah, that's one of the big appeals of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
That decentralized nature, nobody controls it.
No government, no financial institution. It's the Wild West of finance.
But there's a catch.
Okay.
It relies on the internet.
Ah, that's the catch.
Ah.
So what happens if the internet goes down?
That's the vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Natural disasters,
Outrageous.
censorship, all these things can disrupt Bitcoin transactions.
Yeah.
That's where the idea of using radio waves comes in.
Okay, so you're saying like AM/FM radio?
Kind of, yeah.
I don't even know how that works with Bitcoin.
Well, think of it this way. You can encode Bitcoin transaction data into radio signals, similar to how we broadcast music over, traditional radio.
Whoa, so we're talking about sending Bitcoin through the airwaves.
Yeah, essentially.
That's why.
It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Cool.
And Decentral has this system called crypto radio that does exactly that.
Crypto radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty complex system, but the basic idea is that they can broadcast these transactions over, like, existing radio networks.
Like radio networks that are
Yeah.
for digital TV.
Yeah, things like that.
Wait, so you're telling me my TV antenna could potentially be receiving Bitcoin?
Potentially, yeah.
You need to get one of those.
It's not quite that simple. You'd need a, specialized receiver to decode those signals.
But I get the idea.
You get the idea. The point is you don't need an internet connection to send or receive Bitcoin with this.
Okay, I see why this is so groundbreaking, but
Yeah.
crypto radio makes it sound like this is a new thing.
Right.
Didn't people think about radio waves and Bitcoin like years ago?
You're right. The concept's been around.
Yeah.
Like Nick Szabo,
Oh, yeah.
Elaine O. They're big names in the crypto world.
Yeah.
They proposed this a while back, especially for, when internet's limited.
And there have been some real-world examples, too, right?
Yeah.
There's this system called TX10
Oh, yeah. T-Stena.
that uses mesh networks
Right.
and shortwave radio
Yeah.
to send Bitcoin, like for off-grid communities or disaster relief, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Perfect for those situations. And then there's that group of ham radio enthusiasts.
Yeah?
I read about this.
They actually sent a Bitcoin transaction over ham radio.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it proves this concept works.
Yeah.
And then crypto radio itself.
Yeah.
They ran a pilot program in Finland.
Oh, right.
They used the National Digital TV Network to broadcast Bitcoin.
So radio wave Bitcoin transmission is real, it's innovative.
Yeah.
But how does this thing actually work? Like on a technical level? Is there any challenges? Are there any limitations?
To be honest, the technical side can get pretty complex.
Okay.
But I think we can break it down for, years.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Okay, so first of all, how do you encode these Bitcoin transactions into radio signals? Yeah, it sounds like magic to me.
Well, it's not magic, but it's clever engineering.
Okay.
They're converting the Bitcoin transaction data into a format that can be transmitted as radio waves. It's like translating from one language to another.
Okay, so
That.
Bitcoin gets translated into radio wave language.
Exactly.
Got it. So do they just blast these signals out on any frequency then?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
There's a lot of technical considerations,
Yeah.
what frequencies to use,
Mhm.
making sure the signal is strong,
Yeah.
clear, so it can be received properly.
So it's not just like setting up a transmitter
No.
and letting it rip.
There are trade-offs.
Okay.
Shortwave radio that travels long distances.
Right.
But signal clarity, bandwidth, maybe not the best choice.
Yeah.
So they'll choose different frequencies depending on the needs of the network.
I bet there's also some regulations.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just broadcast willy-nilly, right?
No, you can't. There's got to be some
There
rules.
are rules.
The International Telecommunication Union, the ITU,
Okay.
they coordinate how the radio spectrum is used. They allocate specific bands for different purposes.
I see.
Set standards to prevent interference, so anyone setting up a crypto radio network got to play by their rules.
And then there's, each country's individual regulations.
Oh, yeah, on top of that.
Yeah.
That's a whole other headache.
That sounds like a lot of hoops to jump through.
It can be.
Yeah.
That's one of the challenges Decentral highlights in their article.
Oh, okay.
They acknowledge this is crucial for success.
I bet there are other challenges, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
With new tech, there are always bumps in the road.
Totally.
Security is a big one.
Yeah.
Got to make sure these signals can't be intercepted,
right.
manipulated.
People stealing Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then scalability.
Mm-hmm.
What if this becomes really popular?
Right.
Can the radio networks handle the volume?
Good point. So it sounds like we've established that radio wave Bitcoin transmission.
Yes.
It's a thing. It's innovative. It's got potential.
Definitely.
But there's a lot of work to be done before it becomes, mainstream.
Yeah, but the benefits are exciting.
Oh, totally.
Now think about it. Access to financial services not limited by internet connection.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
It is.
That's massive.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even scratched the surface of what this could mean for, financial inclusion, privacy,
yeah.
even the future of Bitcoin mining.
Okay, now I'm really interested.
Yeah.
Let's dive into those implications
Let's do it.
in the next part of our deep dive.
All right.
Okay, so we're back, and we're really starting to explore the impact of radio wave Bitcoin transmission.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you think about it.
It really is. I mean,
Challenges a lot of our assumptions about finance.
yeah, like what even is possible, you know? Like imagine a world where you can send and receive money without even needing an internet connection.
Right, like how transformative that would be for so many people.
Especially in those remote areas, developing countries.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Communities in the Amazon, villages in Africa,
Yeah.
participating in the global economy, using Bitcoin, even without reliable internet.
It's like we're talking about leveling the playing field in a way we never could before.
Yeah, financial inclusion.
Yeah, not just a buzzword.
It becomes a reality.
It's actually happening.
Yeah, that's the power of this tech.
And it's not just about access, right?
No, it's not just about access.
We're talking about privacy.
Yeah, big
Security.
Huge.
You're bypassing the traditional internet service providers.
Right.
So you're also bypassing all that surveillance.
And censorship.
Censorship, that's huge.
It is.
Think about journalists.
Activists.
People living under,
Oppressive regimes.
Yeah, exactly. They could use this
Yeah,
to transact
sure.
anonymously,
Without fear.
like a tool for freedom.
It could be.
Yeah,
Got to acknowledge any tech can be used for good or bad,
true.
but the potential for positive impact, it's undeniable.
Absolutely. So we've got financial inclusion, privacy, security. What about Bitcoin mining?
Right.
You mentioned that earlier.
I did.
I'm really curious about that.
So right now, Bitcoin mining,
Yeah.
it's a very resource-intensive process.
Okay.
Specialized hardware,
You need a lot of electricity.
tons of electricity, and a super fast internet connection.
That's why you see those massive mining farms
Exactly.
in places with cheap electricity.
Right. Got to have that cheap electricity.
Yeah.
But with radio wave transmission, suddenly
Yeah.
the playing field becomes much more level.
How so?
Smaller miners,
Okay.
even individual,
Yeah.
they can participate
Without needing.
without needing that super fast connection.
So instead of needing a fiber optic cable running to their basement, they just need a radio receiver.
Essentially, yeah,
That's pretty cool.
leads to a much more decentralized
Uh-huh.
and resilient mining network.
Okay, hold on. Back up for a second.
Sure.
I think some people are still trying to wrap their heads around the basics.
Right.
Like, what even is Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, good point.
Can you break that down?
Yeah, so in simple terms, it's basically the process of verifying and adding new transactions to the blockchain.
Okay.
It's like a giant decentralized accounting system.
Got it.
And miners use their computing power to solve these complex math problems.
I see.
Whoever solves it first gets to add the next block of transactions to the chain.
And they get rewarded for that.
They do, with Bitcoin.
Okay.
It's an incentive.
Makes sense.
More computing power, better chance of winning.
So back to radio waves.
Yeah.
You're saying this could make it easier for smaller miners
Absolutely.
to compete
Yeah.
against the big guys.
Could even lead to the emergence of community-owned mining cooperatives.
Oh, wow. What would that look like?
Imagine a group of people
Yeah.
pool their resources, setting a local mining operation, powered by crypto radio.
It's like a microeconomy.
Exactly.
Built around Bitcoin mining.
Generates income for the community.
Wow.
Support local businesses.
Incredible.
Even fund infrastructure projects.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got financial inclusion, privacy, security, a more decentralized mining network.
Yep.
This sounds like a revolution.
It has the potential.
But are there any downsides?
Of course, no tech is perfect.
Yeah.
We got to be aware of the challenges.
Like what?
Security, that's a big one.
Right, making sure those signals can't be hijacked.
Exactly, people trying to steal Bitcoin.
Yeah, that would be bad.
We need strong encryption, authentication, scalability.
Now, what if everybody starts using this?
Can the networks handle it?
Right.
Bandwidth limitations, congestion.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
Okay, so maybe some technical wrinkles to iron out?
Yeah, but the potential.
It's huge. It's huge. So let's just say, hypothetically, crypto radio takes off.
Okay, so imagine a future.
Yeah.
Smartphone, other devices. Come with built-in radio.
Whoa, really?
Capable of sending and receiving Bitcoin.
Alongside.
Exactly.
Wow.
Pull up your phone.
Yeah.
Make a purchase using Bitcoin. Over radio.
More QR codes. No more internet worry.
No more internet worries.
I like it.
Humanitarian aid organizations.
Yeah.
Distributing Bitcoin directly to those in need.
Wow.
Bypassing corrupt governments.
That's incredible.
Inefficient systems.
That would change everything.
Travelers in remote regions.
Yeah.
Paying for goods and services.
Without needing ATMs.
No ATMs, no internet.
So much freedom.
Freedom and flexibility.
I love it.
And businesses could use this to create their own payment networks. Yeah, less reliance on those traditional institutions.
So like a small business in a rural town could have their own mini Bitcoin economy.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Local commerce, self-sufficiency.
But what about governments?
Oh, they'll have something to say about this.
Yeah.
This disrupts the status quo.
Totally.
Challenges their control.
Right.
Expect a lot of debate around regulations, licensing.
I bet. And probably some pushback.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
From the people who benefit from the current system.
Absolutely, but that's innovation.
Right, shaking things up.
You got to challenge those assumptions.
Okay, so much to unpack here.
There is.
But I keep coming back to the mining aspect.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I want to go deeper on that.
Let's do it.
What does a world with widespread radio wave Bitcoin mean for miners?
Especially those smaller miners.
Yeah, them especially.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so my brain is like officially fried thinking about all this radio wave Bitcoin stuff.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
But let's zero in on the mining aspects. I think that's where things get really crazy.
Yeah, the implications are huge. Like we were saying, mining right now, it's so resource intensive. You need the hardware, the electricity, that crazy fast internet.
It's like an arms race, you know?
It is.
And only the big players can really compete.
Exactly. And that centralization, it goes against the whole point of Bitcoin.
Right. It's supposed to be decentralized.
Open to everyone.
Yeah, for the people.
And that's where radio wave transmission changes the game.
Okay, how so?
By removing the internet, at least for receiving the transaction data, those barriers to entry, they start to come down.
So you're saying smaller miners, like regular people, could actually compete?
Yeah, all they need is a radio receiver, tuned to the right frequency.
It's like democratizing Bitcoin mining.
I like that. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, anyone can contribute to the network.
Exactly. Security, stability, it doesn't matter where you are or what kind of internet you have.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it brings Bitcoin back to its roots.
Yeah, back to the people.
Individual empowerment, community participation.
And it could change where mining happens too, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Right now, it's all concentrated in a few places.
Yeah, cheap electricity.
Regulations, yeah.
But radio waves, mining could happen anywhere.
Imagine remote villages powered by renewable energy, supporting their local economy.
That's a game changer.
It really is, especially for communities that have been left behind.
And a more decentralized network means better security.
Right. Absolutely. If mining power is spread out, it's much harder for anyone to control it.
Okay, hold on. Break it down for me.
Sure.
What's hash rate? Why is it so important?
Hash rate is basically a measure of how much computing power is dedicated to the Bitcoin network.
Okay.
The more hash rate, the more secure the network.
So if one person controls most of the hash rate,
Yeah, that's bad.
they can manipulate things.
Exactly. They could double spend Bitcoin.
That's scary.
It is, but with decentralization, that risk goes way down.
So it's like having 1,000 locks on your door instead of just one.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So we're talking about a more secure, more resilient, basically a better Bitcoin.
Yeah, going back to the original vision.
It's amazing to think that something like radio waves, something that seems so old school,
I know, right?
could be the key to the future.
It's a good reminder that innovation can come from anywhere.
Totally. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I feel like we've learned so much.
Me too.
Big thanks to Decentral Technologies for inspiring this whole conversation with their article.
They've got some great ideas.
They do, and thanks to all of you for listening and joining us on this wild ride.
Always a pleasure.
If you take away one thing from this episode, let it be that Bitcoin is constantly changing.
Always evolving.
There are brilliant people out there pushing the boundaries, exploring new solutions.
And radio wave transmission is just one example.
Exactly. Who knows what the future holds?
Exciting times.
For more on Decentral Technologies and this whole radio wave Bitcoin thing, check out the show notes.
Yeah, definitely check those out.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep learning.